I'm here to do another Art Fair 101. Today we're going to talk about the top 10 things you don't want to forget when you go to an art fair, my top 10 items. This might vary for different people depending on what you're vending. Of course, everyone has different preferences, and my own list has changed throughout the years. But my number one thing I don't want to forget when I'm going to an art fair is my phone and or iPad. You want some sort of tech that accesses the internet, whether that be by cell phone service or Wi-Fi. Some shows will have Wi-Fi, some don't. But you're going to want to have that because your cell phone or your iPad is how you're going to access your point of sale or POS. That's a whole different video. But you need to have that if you're going to want to accept card. Forgetting it is a very bad day. Don't do that. Second, you're going to want to have a battery pack of some kind for that piece of tech that you're using. I have a Jackery battery that's a little bit high. I'm not sure high end is the correct term, but it's better than like your typical extra phone power battery pack. You might also be able to bring an extension cord depending on the show you're going to. Some shows offer power, they usually charge a little extra, and some don't, so that's totally up to you. But you're going to want to make sure you have some access to power because one phone charge probably isn't going to cut it throughout the day. You're accessing the internet a lot, you're using an app a lot, and things burn out. And you're also going to want to have a safe, a little cash box, and you're going to want to bring multiple keys for that safe. I have locked myself out of my cash box by forgetting a key more than once. It was not a good day. Don't do that to yourself. Bring an extra key. Give it to, if you're vending with somebody, if you brought a helper, give it to your helper, keep it in a purse, keep it in your vehicle, whatever. Have an extra key on hand. Don't keep them in the same place. It's just a good call. Now you're also going to want to have a first aid kit. For me, that's very important. I have a couple of chronic ailments and I can have flare-ups for like no reason whatsoever. So I have to bring the medication that makes that not as bad. But you also want all your typical first aid stuff. You want Band-Aids and gauze and aloe and antibacterial stuff and some painkillers and what have you. If you get a migraine in the middle of an art fair, it's not that. So make sure you bring that stuff. Accidents can and do happen. I've cut myself and burned myself and done all sorts of crazy stuff. Now you're also going to want to have, and I've mentioned this multiple times before, but you're going to want to bring a cooler. And you're going to want to put a whole bunch of healthy snacks with a little bit of salt, some salty snacks in there. And you're going to want to bring some water. And like I said, I've mentioned this before, but it's really important. I go to a lot of art fairs in this area that are, they're all in the summer for the most part, and it can get really warm. It can be like 110 degrees. And at that point, staying hydrated isn't a matter of preference, it's safety. So you definitely want to do that. Speaking of the heat, you also want to bring sunscreen because you can and will get a sunburn, even if it's a cloudy day. And if this is what you're doing for a living, doing it with any sort of consistency, that can be bad. You can get melanoma. It's no joke. So bring your sunscreen. I also have recently, this past summer, bought fans for myself, these portable fans. They're the same brand as my drill, and they use the same kind of batteries, and they kind of hang from the rafters of the tent, as you will. And those are great. They're worth their weight in gold, just like my Yeti, and forgetting them is a terrible time now. I have one that hits me and one that hits the people as they walk into the booth, and it's very nice. Now you're also going to want, I call this my toolbox of everything. It's just a big old like toolbox, and it's going to have your actual tools in there. So I bring a power drill and a hammer and some screwdrivers, some nails and screws, and zip ties. Those are important. You just want those. You never know what you're going to need zip ties for. But everyone's is going to be different. I have some equipment in there to help me hang paintings if I didn't apply the hardware before I left, if I forgot a piece, or to put hangers on the back of my resins. But you're going to want to have all your little knickknacks in there. I'll do a video at some point of everything that's in my everything toolbox. You're also going to want to bring you're also going to want to bring bags. There we go. Some shows will offer bags to people as they come in, so you don't tend to use as many. Some shows don't. But I found my customers are very happy if you have bags. You can get really fancy with those and put your logo on them, or you can just buy them in bulk, whatever. But bags are important. And then last but not least, you want to, of course, remember your chair. But it's always a good idea to bring an extra chair in case you have a helper coming with you, or I travel a lot for my show, so sometimes I run into people I haven't seen in a while and they just want to sit and chat. Having an extra chair is always a good idea. And that is, in no particular order, my top 10 items I never want to forget when I go to an art fair.